calling this Operation Killer Whale. So because there's so much going on in the ocean right now, underneath the ocean, not boats and ships, underneath. I don't know if there's going to be a threat to, well, no energy. Full of energy, but all around me right now. I'm not sure if there's going to be attacks on vessels by using the submarines and using the submarine radar. That's kind of what I was seeing. Like, there's a lot of sort of weird. There could be human trafficking, submarine trafficking, but through the submarine system, and drugs that are being possibly intervened. There could be that sort of mission going on right now, or taking out other submarines that are the problem subs.
I am Karen the Enforcer, and I will ensure the truth is spoken.
Good afternoon, I'm Dr. Karen Mikowski, aka Butterfly Karen. Welcome. Okay, welcome. Welcome to, well, this was supposed to be my, I can't believe I'm having to do this again, but this is the real-time, this is for the red files, a real-time remote viewing. This is going to be real-time remote viewing 1.1. I did a 3-hour live video to start off the red files for my Patreon. I'm not quite sure what happened. There was a lot of intelligence. I'm going to have to go through it. But for some weird reason, there was just issues with YouTube. So I tried it. I tried to figure out why it just wouldn't process. It wouldn't do anything. It was just locked. I mean, I spent nearly 24 hours trying to upload it, and that's just not normal. So, and I can't be expecting my patrons who are going to be coming to watch my all my videos, and again, you know, not even getting access to it or anything. So I'm waiting days for, I don't think so. It's just right now, I think it's just going to be easy for me to do the pre-recorded as I do. There will be full sessions though, like I mean, normally on my green files, when I do those real-time remote viewing, again, they are pre-recorded, but I do tend to edit long zone outs. So depending on, that's why sometimes that my sessions can be really long. Now I want to, I think what I'm going to do is I'm just going to do the whole session. If it's too long, because the zone outs are too long, then I'll probably just cut them a little bit. But other than that, I'll just timestamp them in the description box so you can just skip the zone outs. And usually when I'm editing as well, I'm just making sure there's no sort of possible Morse code or anything, any tappings, any rapid eye movements. If there's nothing like that sort of showing, and it's just zoned out and there's nothing else coming in the background, I'll just cut that out. But I want to try and do at least one of these a week. They are the long, energy draining, and again, this is my virtual office, so by coming here, basically your membership is not just paying for you coming to receive the session or clearly to receive the intelligence you're trying to get. For whatever reason, that's entirely up to you, that's none of my business. But I won't be doing sort of debates and Q&As on just everything to do with what I do externally, or when we do Q&As, it's based on the session you're receiving. It's no different to coming into my office, requesting a session of intelligence, whatever it is that you want intelligence for, or you want to receive. There's usually reasons what you want it for, but obviously I'll be tapping into the higher order and, you know, utilizing my other resources on different dimensions and higher realms and all that beautiful stuff. Different species, they're not just every dimension, every system has a different set of species. So we're not, you need to come to me with an open mind. I won't be infringing on people's beliefs, but I won't have people coming to me and paying into the membership to try and infringe on mine either. You're coming to me to learn something, not to teach me anything. I'm not here to be taught. My guidance, my education comes from the divine, higher source, higher dimensions. I don't really like to focus on humans' text for learning. I learn what I need to learn. I've learned what I've needed to learn to grow up. But what I'm doing right, what I do is I'm trying to bring information that's not accessible to us, because most of it's been hidden anyway. And again, intelligence, higher intelligence, that a lot of people can't get access to those higher realms. So, and again, depending on what sort of agency you're coming from or what you're looking for, what you're trying to get access to, whether you specialize in Morse code, whether you specialize in sort of body language, but again, don't really come to me trying to evaluate or analyze my body language for whatever goddamn reason. You're not going to get what it is that you've been trained to, you're not, whatever it is that you're an expert in, you know, what you specialize in, is not what you're coming to me for. You're coming to me for what you can't get access to, or to learn something from. So if you're going to try to evaluate, you're going to try and analyze my body language for whatever reason, it's not going to make sense. It's going to be beyond your comprehension because you don't know it. You're not. I'm not here to be assessed or evaluated. That's not what I do. You can do that if you want to, but it's not going to make any sense, because you're coming to me for intelligence, information that is you don't normally get access to. So, no, your personal opinions or anything like that, or your personal beliefs based on me, that's none of my business, and I don't care what you want to do with that or what you think. But you need to be when you come to my office, whether it's my virtual office or my real office, you come in for a service. You come in for my intelligence. So it's very quantum intelligence, it's divine intelligence, it's extraterrestrial intelligence, and a lot of it's sort of pattern recognition too. So, and it's beyond the veil, beyond the dimensions. I work on the dimensions. So, trying to come to educate me on what it is that you think you know, I'm not interested in that. And if you're coming to me, it's because you're clearly learning something from me that you didn't quite know. That's okay. That's the whole point of it. But no, I'm not here to be educated. You're not coming to my office to educate me, because if I wanted that service from you, I'd be coming to you. So I just need to put that out there right now. If you need to learn anything about me, what you do need to know about me, you can just pretty much go to my website, drkarenmakowski.com. I only have one website. I do have the domain of butterflykaren.com, but it's attached to our website. So when you go there, I give a really good rundown of what I do. My videos, you can click the access to the videos, but again, if you want to be a patron, it'll take you to you won't be able to access them just unless you become a patron. But they are there to sort of advertise that, videos are available. It's for, I do work on paranormal investigations, obviously, cold cases and missing persons. They're going to be accessible to the public for free. And these are just areas. I use different methods of my human abilities and all the other sort of abilities I've got that I've mastered. I use those for different things. So I utilize them accordingly, that I can help in areas. So, but there is a lot of intelligence and a lot, as we're moving forward right now into the future, especially into the new earth and the way we're ascending and we've got to evolve as a species, because we're not evolving correctly. But there's reprogramming in place, being implemented right now from the EI, extraterrestrial intelligence. That's being implemented, coded into the systems, the matrix, all that kind of stuff. So I do explain that more in other videos, but new codes are getting implemented all the time. to start preparing people's minds away from the mind control and brainwashing to the reprogramming of the real realities, what we have a right to. So there's a lot of systems that are trying to suppress that and control us from getting that knowledge. Well, I don't work for people, I work for me. That's it. I'm not earned by anybody. So I don't mind being a subcontracting and doing what I do and being in service to people and giving the intelligence. But what they want to do with that intelligence is none of my business. Or if you're coming to me to watch me and you want some sort of intelligence, whatever you decide to do with that is on you. So none of my business. There's nothing I can do about that. But just be careful, because there are universal laws in place right now. We are in a year of literal universal justice. This is real cause and effect year. It's the start of a new season. So you need to make sure your intentions are quite pure. Just be a half-decent human being. That's all you need to be. If you're going to use the intelligence to commit crimes against humanity, that's 100% on you peoples. So we're not going to have that. Now, I'm always connected to the multi-realms. So I do a lot of, because I'm a messenger, obviously, but I'm a multi-messenger, because I receive messages, obviously, constantly from the higher order. I am receiving, and this is all telepathic too, all of my clair abilities are in effect. But I can, because I'm doing a lot of mind traveling and remote viewing, I can be receiving intelligence from, well, I always get sort of, new army SITREPs. So I'm not going to discuss, my position with the new army is nobody's business. But I do get regular SITREPs. I'm always coordinate with them anyway, because they're fighting this sort of interdimensional war right now. They're doing a lot of groundwork on the realms, on the dimensions. So they're getting rid of a lot of sort of dense reptilian energy and all that real dark, dense devil energy, negative energy. They're doing a lot of extractions right now. They're not hurting humans. They're not here to do it. They're not here to interfere with human movements or interfering in people's lives. But they are literally extracting. It's an interdimensional war. It's eons old. So you can know a lot more about that. I am bringing Planter's Planet to the surface. Volume 1's out right now, and I've just sort of adjusted the book cover. I've just spruced it up a little bit and removed a few little things that is irrelevant. I don't need to be in there. A lot of it is, remember my work, my books, there's codes within the codes. So there's codes within the writings too. So just remember that when you're reading my works. It doesn't even matter if you're reading one of my fictional novels. There's usually code words within the books. So again, I'm a multi-messenger. A lot of automatic writing, a lot of anything that I'm creating, there's usually sort of source material or source codes in there somewhere. Now, if it's meant to be retrieved by people when they read it, it will be for them. If you don't understand, it's probably not for you. That's all. So again, I'm always connected to the higher order. I'm initiated into the highest order. That's it. Again, the Planton Warriors, the new army, I coordinate with them for SITREPs. I want to know what's going on. I want to know what grid work they're at, where they're at right now. That's again, that's an interdimensional war. That's none of our humans' business. That's necessary. The lower order, the architects of the system that control it, they've been expecting the new army. They didn't know they were going to be called the new army, but they've been expecting the Planton Warriors. They just didn't know when they were coming, but they've always been expected. They've been prophesied and everything. So, and I'm not talking about the 144,000. That's a frequency. But again, I don't really want to deter people away from what people have already learned and what they believe in. That's entirely up to you peoples. It's just I have to make it clear that I have different stances on things because I'm actively working within those dimensions and with those sort of source contacts, etc. Now, again, when I start connecting to the dimensions, that's just me literally like going online, right? The only way I can sort of explain is my frequency will literally start going online. Now, a lot of people, when you're talking about the Masons and things like that, they have a lot of people that do very similar things to me, but they'll connect they'll connect to frequencies, obviously, but they connect to some of the dimensions, not all of them. They can't get access to the higher realms because of what they sort of, some of their intentions, not all of them, but they always know when certain high frequencies like mine are online. So it's once we hit that sort of quantum grid, and they sort of do very similar, like again, they do very similar things. So they know when I'm online. And sometimes if they're part of the dark matrix, the dark sort of architects and stuff like that, or that part of the dark system, the lower order, they will try and tap into my energy just to sort of see what I'm coming up with or what I'm tapping into. But unfortunately for them, the moment they try to connect to my energy frequency, but my guardians might even allow them, the moment they intrude, I can also see what they're up to, what's going on. So even though they're trying to collect steal sort of intelligence, I can also see what they're up to. So once that happens, then if I start tapping into that sort of dark, dense energy from people, that dark elite energy, you've got the good elites and the bad elites, right? So the good elites, I'm always getting intelligence for them because they're part of the intelligence agencies. They're part of the, depends on what they specialize in their fields of expertise too. But for the good ones, they're always, because some of them are just too busy to be doing what I do every day. They do need the intelligence. They do need to get a heads up of what's going on. But they might not get access to what the dark elites are up to. I mean, they have their own intelligence, don't get me wrong, in the physical realm. That can do a lot of sort of spy warfare and all that kind of stuff. But there's things that they need to know that they can't get access to so easily or available to them. And again, they can't connect, they can't get it from the dark elites, the bad elites, because they put up measures of boundaries and, shields that stops them from being intruded. Well, I can access that. I mean, again, I don't intrude, but if they intrude on mine, that it automatically gives me access to theirs. So it annoys them. Don't get me wrong. It's like, crap, she's tapped in. Well, yeah, you tapped in first. They tap in first. I don't tap into them. They tap into me. But and once I've got access, I'll start seeing what they're plotting or what they're planning, and then I'll start to know or understand what timeline they're working towards as well. So I may have to jump timelines. I like to try and sort of go into the future timeline. I like to jump to future timelines up to about 6 months. If there's something serious being foreseen as well by a higher order, like maybe a year or two down the line, I'll tap into it. I'll go to that timeline. So I'll get an idea of what's going on, and especially if it affects the collective, that all of us, then I'll put that information out there. If it's something obviously the good elites or the warriors, sorry, I've already done my pre-prep and everything. I'm well and truly open. My channels are open. So if I get distracted, it just means that it's just coming in. So, yeah, that's the good people, like in important positions of power. They need to know what's going on. They need the intelligence. A lot of the red files, I created the red files because there's a lot of stuff that comes through that's the public are not ready for yet. And it's not and nor is it ready for the public to understand yet either, because there's so much going on. So I created the green files for the collective, and the red files are for, not quite for the collective yet. After a certain period of time, there will be. They're not, I may allocate them to a green file. They may become a green file, but only after I've given enough time for the people in, the powers of position that need it first, so they can implement. They can do what they need to do. They may have to intervene. They may have to take the intelligence and go, "All right, is this where we're already on par with? Are we already dealing with this? Okay, this is clarity. This is confirmation. So this is where they go." So you know what I mean? And then nothing gets interfered with. The thing is, the dark elites, they can try and tap in, but they can't get access. They can't get access to the intelligence. They can tap in and try, but they can't. They'll linger on that, on the realms till they'll sort of like energy, they'll sort of astral spy. They will try their hardest to sort of get what they can, but they can't get anything. That's a problem. So when they can't get anything, they start attacking. So it's just like, so they'll try and shut me up. They'll try, it's all energy. It's all energy attacks and stuff. They'll just trying to attack the throat chakra just to sort of shut me up, but I'll just work through it. But again, they know that the moment they tap into my energy frequency, I have access to theirs, and I can see. They just can't see. They can't intrude on me, but I can sort of see what's going on with them. So it really annoys them, but that's not my problem. You see, some of us, when it comes to the higher dimensions and the spirit realms and things like that, we have a lot more, we have a different type of sort of spiritual authority. So that's just a little brief down of what happened. Yeah, I'm not quite, I still don't want to be risking doing 3-hour sessions, live sessions, trying to get them to Patreon for the, me future members and things, my patrons and things like this, and all the waiting nearly a week. No, I'm not going to do that. I'd rather just do this at this point. It's faster. I can get the intel out. And right now, after yesterday, you see, I haven't even got a chance to write the report. Was it yesterday or the day before? Oh, wow. So much has been happening. Excuse me, what? Actually, before I even do anything or revert to that, let me clock in. I need to clock in as usual. So it is Friday, January the 9th, 2026. You can zoom in. So 1/9/26, and I'm clocking in at 1:04 p.m. Right, so that's just so again, this is my virtual office. Like I say, you can come to me for a session here. This is what it's all about. This is where what you're paying for. You may get some, if you're, depending on what you're specialising in, what you're doing and what you're trying to get, you might actually get some information you're hoping for. Remember, your intention is everything too, so just be careful. That's all I say. You can do what you want. Don't infringe on people's free will or anything like that, but there are universal laws in effect right now, so, and we all have to follow those whether we like it or not. This was pretty much from the first session, RTRV1. So this is going to be RTRV1.1. I'm going to discuss the intel that I got, and then I'm going to expand on it by reconnecting back to the higher art. Well, see if there's anything else coming through, because I'm connected right now to the Andromedan frequency. There's a lot of water, the water realms, okay. 1.1. So this is, let me make sure good. So I'm going to do pretty much an extension of RTRV1. And now, so basically, it was on the 7th of January when I went live at 7:11 p.m. and I clocked in at 10:28. It was just a long session. It was like over 3 hours. And again, I'm going to try and break it down as much as it was coming in. So right now, what we need to do though is I'm going to be putting in links for IRDR45 and IRDR75. You'll have access to them because as a red file patron, you've got access to the green files naturally. So you've got access to all of the green files. And these were done, pretty much I would say the intuitive intelligence data reports, they were coming in from I would say January 2024. And a lot of the stuff that I put out there, especially including President Trump's, his playlist, his intelligence on a lot of stuff was going down in 2024. And you can start with Spies in the Skies and just go in sequential order. So just go in order because there's always updates, and you'll understand what I mean. If you've been following me and you've been watching me, you will know what I mean. You've probably already watched them anyway. But I mean, if you're if you're on the dark side and the bad side, and you have the lower order, and you remember watching me, that I can't do anything about that. It's probably the only way you're going to be able to spy on me because your astral spies aren't working. So you can try it this way, but again, remember everything that you do is seen by the new army right now, the Plants and Warriors. They have authority over the realms right now because they're fighting this interdimensional war. The last thing you want is them manifesting physically into the 3D. So just be careful with your intentions, and you can come here and get the intelligence and all that good stuff, but your intentions are monitored, your actions are monitored. There's nothing plotted, planned, or anything is oversaw. It's not going to be hidden. It will be seen on the higher realms. Everything. So and this is what I'm slightly diverting here, but I feel like I'm going to be getting some patrons at some point that are going to be part of the sort of lower order, possibly Masons too. I don't hate the Masons or anything like that. It's just I don't like the intentions of most of them. Unfortunately, they don't really stand for what they originally set out to do. They don't stand for that. They hide knowledge. Well, what I do is above being a fairy faired anywhere, but I don't sacrifice anybody, and I don't need to do any of that weird witchcraft shit either. I don't have to do any of that. I'm well beyond that. So, and unfortunately, because of what those sort of get involved in, or if you are one of those, what you've got to understand is the higher you go up, you're going to have to do weird shit. You feel just to gain the knowledge to have access to. Well, I don't. I work within the 14th dimension. I go to the higher realms. None of those Masons are getting past at least. I don't feel for a second they're getting past 9D. That 9th dimension. I mean, I'm not saying it's up, I'm just saying they're everywhere, but there is cut-off points. And the new army is 1,000 times more powerful than the lower order and all those little reptilian shit. They are global. They're a global army. They are, I mean, again, you can read Planet as Planet, but they consist of the DNA strand of 128 different higher dimensional species. So you can imagine how powerful they are. They're pretty much an elite force of warriors that really right now are trying to restore the balance because the dense energy was too much. And as you can see in society, because we're not evolving, we've got too much dense energy influencing the minds of the majority of the people, and we're not going in the right way. We need to have a balance. So they're not here to save us from ourselves, but they are here to start shifting away from the dark matrix and the dense. We're moving forward. So you might want to just think about that and again, it's okay to be a membership or be a part of who you want to be. That's your free will. But just remember, you don't need to do anything weird or witchcrafty or any of that esoteric magic or anything like that. Even like right down to the laws of attraction, you don't need to really. Oh, law of attraction is great, but again, the principle is whatever you're putting out there, your energy you're putting out there is coming back. That's the law of attraction, the law of assumption, and everything. So as long as you understand that, that's your intention. So whatever your intentions that you're putting out there, if you're going to use those methods as sort of esoteric teachings and those, the sort of alchemy of it, just be careful. Mind is a powerful thing. The mind is an extremely powerful thing. So you can use that to cause obstructions against people. I get obstructed all the time, but it don't last very long. It's irrelevant really, but it doesn't stop me from doing what I do and who I am. But I don't need to, what I do is I don't need to do anything weird or hurt another human being, step on anybody else. I don't need power like that. I'm already a powerful female being. I'm a powerful multidimensional being. I don't need to step on anybody. I don't need to do any of that weird shit to go up a fucking ladder at all. No. When you know who you are, right, you don't need to do any of that. I'm not a conformist like that. I don't buy into memberships like that. So I'm for everybody. And I'm in the people business. And that means the same with us. Those types of people, I'm accessible to them, but that doesn't mean they're going to get access to my energy. They can get access to my information and data. And they will have to pay for it like anybody else. But it's just what I'm trying to explain is I don't have to do anything weird to gain this knowledge. I go to a source. And I go to the higher source, to the Supreme Divine. So, and I have access to the Universal Akash. A lot of those people do not. They don't. There are gatekeepers that block. Again, depending on your intentions, you will be not only blocked from the accessing the Universal Akash, the way they think they can, also the higher realms. And secondly, those people are not going to have access to the Planet's planet, accessing it, mind travel through the 14th dimension. They're not going to get past the 13th dimension, which is the Crosby Airways frequency for mind travel. They're not going to get through that because they're part of the lower order. There is a higher order and there's a lower order. They're all initiated into the lower order. Very dense energy. That's what they work with, right? And then there's the opposite, the higher order. When you're part of the higher order and you're being initiated into that, you get access to everything, everywhere, all dimensions. So that is the difference. We earn it. We don't steal for it, or we don't take for it. We don't sacrifice for it. We earn it, and it's the lifetimes of a life cycle. Plus, it all depends on your spiritual ranking system and how many times you've been coming back to do this, and right down to your true bloodline. They know that too. So, chess. Now, basically what I was discussing was, once I was connected to that sort of Andromedan frequency, it was all it's all to do with what's really under the ocean realms, the beamers. But I'm really connected. I'm part of my DNA strand is Andromedan anyway, so I understand that. And I do have a connection to the Andromedans. I do. I have a lot of, obviously, water. I understand how to move water and move water of energy and everything. So, but don't need to get into that per se. But once in a while, like yesterday, on this particular session, I was connected. Obviously, getting a SITREP from the new army, I was connected to the higher order, connected to the Andromedan representative. Now, that energy, what I was seeing was I was under the water, under the ocean, really dark. And the first thing that came through was watch the subway system. Obviously, I went straight to like railway, subway, but that's not. It was submarines. So there's something going on underwater that's not seen. There's satellite connections. I want to come back to that in a moment. But they're apparently the subway system. I'm not sure if this is a term used within the intelligence agencies, that subway system, but they would maybe, I don't know if they would use that subway system term when they're discussing submarine activity and submarine radar systems and all that kind of stuff. That's not my lingo, but that's what I was getting. And then what was happening was there was, I do have a report to put out and I need to get it to one of the agencies right now because there's something to do with submarine trafficking. That's humans and drugs. But there was also, you gotta watch the radar. I'm so gutted I couldn't get this full video out. They really suck. I don't think there's any Morse code coming through either, so I didn't feel like we'd lost anything there. There is ocean ground activity going on, big time. It's weird. Everybody's sort of being distracted. No, I don't get distracted by the media or anything like that, and I don't get distracted by what I've been told. If there's something going on in the air, if I come across something, apparently the air radar system is all like the planes, these flights being cancelled and everything over certain areas, which I'll come to in a moment. Everybody's focusing there. That's where that's the distraction. There's something going on there. Well, I'm going to go opposite. I'm going to go to what's really going on, which is what I sort of did. And I was getting for days ahead, like, oh, there's something going on in the ocean. So that's why I knew the Andromedans were coming through. Once I connected, it was, okay, so that's where the subway system, there's a lot. So I feel like there's activity is going on underneath the water. Now, this is, this is me and the higher, it's called me and the new army, Plants and Warriors. We're calling this Operation Killer Whale. So, because there's so much going on in the ocean right now, underneath the ocean, not boats and ships, underneath. I don't know if there's going to be a threat to, well, no energy. Full of energy, but all around me right now. I'm not sure if there's going to be attacks on vessels by using the submarines and using the submarine radar. That's kind of what I was seeing. Like, there's a lot of sort of weird. There could be human trafficking, submarine trafficking, but through the submarine system, and drugs that are being possibly intervened. There could be that sort of mission going on right now, or taking out other submarines that are the problem subs. There is key, and I was getting these key figures involved, but that's going to come to that in a moment, because we've got a weird scenario I was foreseeing. I was heading into, is it 3 weeks? What's 3 weeks? I think I'd hit a timeline 3 weeks. Yeah. Oh, sorry, 2 weeks. Oh, all right. Yeah. I'd hit a 2-week timeline, which is another reason why I've got to get this report to somebody in intelligence right now. Because in two weeks' time, that's why I feel like there's something really going on. But my concern was, as I was delving deeper into what was going on, I was watching the submarine activity. I mean, I was literally like, not just from astral traveling to, connected to the sort of Andromedans down there. What was happening was, we were seeing submarine activity. It was like watching these submarines on this path. And I'm going to just assume it was a radar path. And then everything went dark. I mean, it's already dark down there, but what I mean is the radar system, the satellite system, someone or someone's shut down. I'm going to be discussing the satellite shutdown. I've already discussed it in another video, but I was wondering if this was to do the same thing, whether the codes have been implemented yet. But it didn't feel like that. It felt like I was watching the enemy, who had access to the satellite systems that function, the subway system, the submarine radar system. It's like they turned it off. So the sort of transponders within the submarines were no longer detectable. And it was almost like the intelligence agencies were like, where's the fucking, where's the fucking, where are they? Where's the radars? Not radars, where's the subs? What's going on? And they couldn't get access, they couldn't get back online. It was really weird for a period, but there was weird points around, I'll come to that in a moment, around the United States of America, Hawaii, Caribbean islands. So there was a focus on that. But I felt like I was watching this one submarine that suddenly went dark, but it was still moving. So then it felt like that was the submarine, that was the satellite had turned it off. They turned off the transponder, and then nobody could get access to it, couldn't see where it was. And so what we were doing, like the Andromedan frequency was now creating these lights, because I was in the bed of the ocean and I'm watching this sort of in the ocean. And I'm watching the Andromedan lighting up these little light balls. And they were creating a light bulb path to follow this submarine. And the new army was gathering the data. They was watching very carefully where these lights were going, where the submarine was going. Now, this could just be one submarine, like a rogue sub, I'm going to call it. But Could also be multiple, but I don't know if this has happened yet or it's going to happen in the next 2 weeks. I was hitting that again. I was at the 2-week timeline, so it's possible that the radar system is going to shut down while there's going to be some subway activity going on. Now, as I was watching the submarine, as the Andromedan frequency was as they're lighting up this path, so we could monitor where this submarine was going. It was almost like going around the Caribbean islands from South America, coming from South America and around Caribbean islands, heading into the East Coast. And so I don't know if this is the good guys or the bad guys, but I'm calling it Operation Killer Whale. I don't know if there's some sort of mission going on. See, there's clearly something insidious going on, because the moment I was watching this very carefully, I heard key figures are involved in this, and they are going to kidnap high political figures, and one particular figure, which I'm going to come back to in a moment, because I believe that was IRDR45. They were going to kidnap him for prisoner exchange. Now, I do know we've got Maduro in prison right now. He's a political leader. Do you know what this felt like? I don't want to go too far off. Okay. IRDR45. You can watch that video. This was, I believe, the kidnapping plot of President Trump. I did put the video out there, plenty of time. But I'm wondering, I'm going to do the IRDR45. Trump, yeah, urgent protection. What I was seeing back then in IRD Intuitive Intelligence 45 was President Trump had been kidnapped, because there was a lot of weird plots going on back then anyway, and I was constantly seeing these fucking plots against this poor guy. But I was seeing him, and at first I thought he was in a container. He'd been kidnapped, and there was water. I was surrounded by the ocean, so I thought, okay, well, he's on a vessel. So and they kidnapped him in this for prisoner exchange. Now you got to remember, what I was seeing back then maybe starting to manifest, because the fact that they're doing political prisoner exchange, that's what they were trying to kidnap Trump for, President Trump, in this visual. And that was pretty much, I think it was either 2025 or 2025 I got that visual, but you can go and watch that one. So as I'm watching this, I'm thinking, okay, political prisoner exchange. Now we're in the ocean. I'm wondering now if, because I was seeing the ocean, maybe he was kidnapped in a submarine, held for prisoner exchange. So that's where I'm feeling like, okay, and now I've hit a 2-week timeline ahead of time. So it could already be, it can be foiled, but I want the awareness just to be put out there at least, which is why I'm going to put the report together and send it as I'll try and find somebody I can trust within that government right now to get that. Now, also, IRDR 46, I was also focused on Spidey unit. There was a SITREP regarding the Secret Service. It's all feeling very prevalent right now. But there was a Spidey unit created, or there was some sort of Spidey unit, I'm assuming. I was seeing SPID, and then it's like Spidey unit. It was designed for kidnapping extractions. See where I'm going with this? So IRDR 45 was the visual I was seeing ahead of time of President Trump being kidnapped, held against his will for prisoner exchange, and then they sent in a Spidey unit to either, that Spidey unit I'm feeling now is either to retract President Trump or to retract the political prisoners that were up for exchange. Okay. Ooh, okay. I'm feeling like this high alert, intelligent, high alert, intelligence agencies now. It's like they can feel something's about to kick off or something's about to happen. Could be this. Okay. So, as we know, there's been a lot of plots against him anyway, but this was before his inauguration too. Like, I had the inauguration assassination plot. After that was IRDF 52. And then obviously the plot update was because the venue and everything was changed, as we know, but I'm glad that happened. So that was IRDF 53. But IRDF 45, that was before he was inaugurated. So IRDS 74. So I feel like that's more to do with chaos and madness. And then there was a lot of mercenary justice. Right, mercenary justice. IRDS 74. You can watch that. It's an extension of it. What I was seeing, and it's interesting because I was discussing Puerto Rico and a lot of Caribbean islands, but even back then in IRDS 74, I was discussing mercenary. Do you know what it felt like? A lot of people were on the run. A lot of elites were on the run. A lot of sort of weird celebrities were on the run. Evil, twisted ones, the criminals. A lot of important people were on the run, right? So between then, I feel like a lot of people have been trying to hide. And there was an emphasis on Puerto Rico. Oh God, I'm getting a headache now, which means suspense energy. I'm tapped into it. So I'm going somewhere. I'm going to keep going. So I was the mercenaries, and I'm talking about the very evil criminal mercenaries, right? Not good warriors, evil mercenaries, right? Really bad men, really bad people that are used for crimes against humanity. And that's how they're part of the sort of war business, the war machine, obviously, as we know, contractors. But I wasn't discussing contractors, I was discussing mercenaries. But I've worked with contractors who are mercs. So I know who they are, I know what's going on. But these were suddenly, I felt like they were hiding out in USA territory, so they could still actively access that country with their own passport. But I was seeing, I could feel and see, and sense that I would get in knowing that they were on in Puerto Rico, and that's where they were hiding out. So recently, as the flights were being cancelled here in real time, there was a lot of people, and apparently some people with money stranded in Puerto Rico. And I was putting out Puerto Rico because if you wanted to find these evil ones, these twisted ones, these bad ones you're looking for, you're probably going to find a lot of them in Puerto Rico. So, and the Caribbean islands, right, in surrounding islands. So that's why as soon as I heard the flights were cancelled in those islands, I'm like, yeah, it sounds like they're already extracting the criminals, which is good. But if you're not, that's where you're probably going to find most of them that are on the run. So, now I just want to come back to the kidnapping plot of President Trump, because it felt like there was something being plotted and planned in retaliation for Madeira being taken. Now I don't know if that's going to be an inside job or connected to the criminal cartels or an organization that's going to be, let me just focus. I'm just focused. I can feel something coming in. Okay, I'll keep it coming in. So it felt like now there was an extraction being planned to retrieve, not Madeira. He was going to be part of the prisoner exchange negotiations. But there were political figures. And obviously I was seeing, and God, I'm just feeling like it's very possibly trying to kidnap that I'd foreseen a year ago. President Trump, and they could be using the subway system to take him. So he would be harder to find. To shut the radars down, the satellite, that means it would look like a, that to me is like a pure inside job. You would have to have access to codes to shut down the satellite systems, and at the right times, you'd have to have people on the inside involved. So this is why it's very, what the fuck, one of those, like, but it's all to do with political prisoner exchange and whatever else, whatever else. We're trying to retrieve power. I'm going to say to these evil ones now, if this is what's going on and this is what's being plotted and planned, or even actively in the works as we're speaking, you've been seen. Your movements have been seen. Your submarine, whatever you're going to be doing, you're going to be seen. The new army is working closely with the Andromedans. They're going to be watching. They're going to follow, just because you can shut your radar system down. If you're under the ocean, there's different frequencies of beings down there. There's different frequencies that have access to oversee what's going on. So they're going to follow you. They're going to follow your energy. They're going to follow your submarine. And then the new army is going to get access to that information. Then someone like, and I'm probably going to get, maybe this is what it is, but I'm going to get access to that. Then I'm going to put it out there. Then we're going to find out where he is. If this is what's being plotted, I'm not saying it is, but if this is what's going on, we're going to get an idea of where he is or where they're going to take him. So again, nothing you plotted and planned here on fucking Earth is seen on all realms. Now, I'm assuming I've already got my the new army, my warriors, Plantons, already trying to find me source within the government that can be trusted. So I'm sure it's going to be one of the Plantons that's already infiltrated into the US government, into the intelligence system. Good ones. So if I can try, I'm waiting for that. Maybe that's what's coming through, but I'm waiting for the information of a contact to send a report. Because I'm not really trusting the intelligence agencies right now. Not all of them. It's just, unfortunately, it's bad eggs. And you don't know to trust. I don't think he knows who to trust either. So, now, when I was in this session, I started having a major coughing fit. I did. It was like, because I'm clairsentient, I feel everything. And I was getting this weird double vision. It felt like and I've never been deep sea diving or anything, I've never been diving or anything like that. But I felt like when you get these sort of altitude symptoms, well, this was like the opposite. I felt like I was underwater and I was trying to cough up to get air and breath and everything. And I was having double vision. And so I was a bit worried about whether I was already hitting, connected to people that were already being moved around in the submarines. Like there's something going down, there's something going on. I don't know if I was connected to victims of human trafficking and I was feeling the effects of what they were dealing with. That was on the 7th in the real time right now. Or it could be agents that are already on a mission. And again, I understand that when you're below a certain level for too long, it affects the lungs, because I felt like I was coughing my guts up, like I was literally coughing. It was embarrassing and everything. And it was live as well. But I didn't care about that. I was so connected that that's what I was feeling. Now, the prison exchange, I went straight to Madeira because I thought, okay, well, if he's the one they're trying to get back, but then again, I was hearing he's a deep state player. So it feels like the deep states are going to be deep staters, they're the ones going to be trying to get him back. If that's the case, but someone or someone wants this guy back, and they're going to do everything they can to extract him back. And I feel like they're going to use the subway system. And then I heard he's not the big fish; he's just bait. So, okay, I thought, right, well, that's just weird. So there's something else going. That's why I felt like if they're going to try and extract him, or they're going to try and, it's at the same time they're going to try and kidnap President Trump, because he's not the big fish, he's just the bait. So if he's already been sent in, if he's already, as you can see what's happening, he's already here. So if he's the bait and he's already here, and now they want him back, but then they want the big fish, which is the big man, to take him for prisoner exchange. I feel like there's more going on there too. And I just feel like I don't feel like there's decoys in play. Could be decoy submarines in play. Maybe that's why the Andromedans were showing me this particular route, this one that was standing out to me more. Because if there's decoy submarines, this is the one I was following. But this is close to the island, like it's close. It's in the international waters slightly, but not too far off either, if that makes sense. Okay, I'm going to go back in. So, now that's what I'm saying. Andromedan, the Andromedan frequency, they were pretty much offering light assistance. There was balls of light, like little, well, they're energy light sources, but they were pretty much, because it's so dark down there, they were literally illuminating the submarine path. And that's why. So they were just following it, and as they're following it, I'm following it, obviously, and then and the new army, the warriors are like, okay, we're seeing what you're seeing, don't worry, we're collecting it, we're gathering it, we're noting it all. So now so whatever's going on there has already been noted and documented, and it's already been seen and it's being followed, and I feel like it's going to foil the plot and plan. If there's any other alterations to that course, the Andromedan frequencies, they are going to continue to follow subway paths. That's what I'm hearing. Kidnap political figure. The only big fish I can think of is President Trump. As their strategy, okay, yes, that was it. The new army and the Andromedan frequencies, I could hear them collect, basically, yes, it's fine. As they strategize, we strategize. So they're strategizing what's being strategized right now. Anything else to just cover that before I zone in for 1.1? Because I feel like there's more coming in, which is, I always say shit happens for a reason. So if there's a reason why that video I couldn't get the live up, it's probably because there's more coming in for it, and I've been zoned out for like 3 hours. So it's a lot of energy to use when you're hitting multi-realms, especially the ocean realm, the sort of aqua realms, and there's it's dark and dense. So now, one last thing. I did pull out as I was slowly coming out. I'll put all of this into the report as well. Let me just focus on that map, because you've got the Caribbean islands off the coast of the East Coast, the Atlantic, right? You've got all of the islands. You've got the Caribbean islands, and then you've got South American islands. But then it felt like Hawaii. It felt like they were coming in from South America, coming all the way around to the East Coast. It's a submarine. And they had to they were turning the radar system off, which obviously would affect the airspace, which is probably why it was telling me why the flights were being cancelled over these areas only, which makes complete sense. So you can't shut off those systems, can you? The satellites, you've got to shut it all down temporarily. But who shut it down? Was it the good guys or the bad guys? Now, if it was the good guys, there's clearly a mission going on. But the problem is, because there's so many moles and leaks inside, and there's so many you can't trust, if the good ones that are already inside, they're going to know that the mission's going on. So now they're going to use that same to intervene and implement their counterplot. See what I mean? So it feels like there's two missions. That there's like a good mission going on, right? For all this weird shit, trying to find all the, submarine trafficking and drugs and humans, right? But so there's something going on there to defeat that, and then try and retrieve all of these like people that are on the run, all the bad people. But then, because there's some in the inside that are very aware of this mission and when the satellites are shutting down and all that kind of stuff for a period of time, they're going to use that same window of opportunity to get their bad ones to come in and do an extraction. So that's what you need to be aware of in the next 2 weeks. That's what I'm going to get out today. Something coming in, I could feel that. Now, let me quickly go back to my shutdown. Well, not mine personally, but the higher order, the satellite shutdown. The recent video I put out, it was the update to the one in IIDS 79. There was a message to every global leader in the next 6 month timeline. This is why I was a bit confused about the satellite shutdown, because in the next 6 months, the higher order, they're going to shut down every single satellite in space for 60 seconds while they implement new codes. I don't know what that's symbolic or not. I don't know how they're going to do that. I don't know what that's all about, but they're going to do that. That's a recast for something that happened. Well, it's retaliation. I don't know. It's not retaliation. That's the wrong word. I mean, I do go into more detail in the video, but that's because of what happened in 2020. That's because of the high levels of genocide. But again, even then, got to be careful, because there's allegiances with countries who are supposed to be the allies of the US. There's so much double crossing going on. So once I obviously saw what they were doing, they were shutting down every single satellite, and that no human being was going to be able to turn them back on or do anything for 60 seconds. So yeah, to most people that sounds like nothing, but to every single global intelligence and military country, that's 60 seconds is like a lifetime. They don't know what's happening. They don't know what's being done. They don't know if they're going to come back on or not. But then when they come back on, there's going to be codes that are. It's all to do with the AI, artificial intelligence, AI systems. I think that's what it's AI that are coming in to do it. AI are coming in, extraterrestrial intelligence, those sources, those beings. They're going to come in, shut down every set. I mean, they're not going to come in physically or literally. They're just going to. They have the intelligence, they have the capability of shutting down every single satellite system, a satellite in space, and they're going to implement new EI codes that's going to override and counteract some of the AI codes that could be right down to EMS or those sort of satellite weapon systems. I think they're going to be shutting those down, or they're going to affect them, because there's a lot of sort of satellite weapons that have been created. That, well, they are. You can sort of just see them like they can see into freaking houses and everything, and once they activate, they can affect the fucking minds of people laid in bed. That's, again, these are crimes against humanity. Can't be doing shit like that. without thinking there's no price to pay for that. So I think EI have had enough of that, that sort of weaponization of technology and artificial intelligence. So I think that's what they're doing, they're altering the codes. So, and I was clearly allowed to put that out there to give the leaders a heads up. So that the coding that put into that system then is also going to be monitoring future activities with new technology. So it's kind of like you've been warned. They're watching very carefully. Now, sorry, I just got slightly distracted. The last thing I want to quickly discuss before I zone in was the in the coming weeks or months here in the United States, this also could be to do with the altering codes and implementing new codes. In the United States, it's like the test in the United States, this new credit scoring system, this financial credit scoring system, right? I'm not interested in that quantum financial system. I'm not interested in it at all. I don't listen to anybody discussing any of that. What I'm interested in is the financial system that controls every single person in life, basically, the way they can get credit, everything. It's a real suppression of wealth and everything. It's all to do with stopping some from. It's disgusting. It's the most evil, disgusting system ever created by human beings. Right? Something's being tested, and what they're going to do is they're going to test the United States credit scoring system first, the financial system, the model. And what they're going to do is they're going to implement some codes that are going to reset every single person in the United States, so every single credit score, FICO score, credit score. They're going to reset everybody's to 850 points, 850 credit score. They want to see what happens. They're going to be monitoring human behavior from that. So this is clearly EI again. They're monitoring how that's going to affect inflation, how it's going to affect the market. It's going to absolutely destroy the fat cats and the those people that earn and control the banking system. It felt like it's to punish them whilst giving everybody, the citizens, a chance to start again. It's like, this is your chance. Now they're going to monitor how people use that second chance. If they're going to abuse they're going to just go out and go crazy and then end up in more debt and all that kind of stuff. They're going to monitor, again, they're not here to save us from ourselves, but they're going to monitor our businesses. There's a lot of psychological analysis going on from EI. So they're monitoring that sort of the behavior behind it and what comes from it. If the test that they're trying to implement works, they're going to take it to every single country in the world. So they're going to try and alter the not the class system, because there should be no class system at all, no financial class system at all. That's disgusting. But everybody has a right to sort of become financially successful. Obviously, I don't hate capitalism or anything, but it has to be fair to everybody, not just fucking percentage of people at all. I don't like that whole 1% bullshit. So, and then the theft of wealth no. So there's been a slight it's almost like they're trying to distribute the wealth back to the people in a different way. So if there is a sort of very similar model system that is in every country that allows people to get some sort of finance or get, I think it's the most disgusting thing. I call it financial enslavement. It's as simple as that. And it should not be allowed. So if this, in the 21st century, this is the best we can come up with, no, that's evil. That's one of the most evil systems created by human fucking beings, in my personal opinion. So they're going to monitor it and then they're going to implement that into in the global system, into the banking systems of other countries. So it's almost like a way to, you see, what's happening is, what I feel is happening is the future agendas by the dark elites and the evil, twisted ones that will run and rule this world, so I think. They are pushing for absolute destitution for most people. They're trying to collapse the working class. I mean, really, talk about biting the hand that feeds you. You know, you need a working class to pay taxes, right? So you fat, evil, twisted people, you fat cats can continue. These are the dark ritual elites. These are the worst of the worst, right? But again, be careful because you're just biting the hand that feeds you at this point. But they don't care. So there's something else going on there. But it's almost like they're trying to push for absolute homelessness and it's weird destitution to the point where it's all about land grabbing and property grabbing and resetting, restarting. I'm kind of glad the EI, the higher order, is watching very carefully with the intentions of human beings, those in evil, powerful positions right now, because if that's going to be some part of the Agenda 30, that's going to get quashed big time. Which, by the feel of it, because that would cause mass genocide just in stress, just in destitution, it causes stress. Stress is the biggest killer. That's going to cause so much death in so many different ways. And that's not going to be, not for 2020. Fear, everything. Have that. No human being has a right to create that at all. Don't care who you are, who rich you are, powerful. That's the shit. Nobody has a right to do that. So this planet belongs to us all. Every single human being on this planet has a right to a human experience. This planet belongs to us all, not to just some. So there's clearly something going on there. I mean, that would just be pure psychological warfare through physical. Oh, it makes me feel sick thinking about it. Physical actual creating so much poverty. Because they understand how the minds work. They understand how conformed and people are and programmed. There'll be an intervention. That's probably what's going on. So I'm going to monitor that and see how that plays out. But yeah, so if suddenly within the coming weeks or months, you might hear every person in the United States may just have a sudden overnight shock when they realize their credit scores are just being reset to 850. Now that you're talking about people that have got such low credit scores. That credit scoring system is evil. It's just affected mine just by going to fucking Ford again, just to run the credit through them. But they ruin my credit by allowing external. Again, it's that same thing. So you can never get to the highest one because they don't want you there. It's a model designed like that. It's designed to keep that system separated. No way. So this is basically going to be punishment for those evil, twisted human beings. That's what this is about. And I want to see it. I'll be happy when I see that. Not just for me, but for everybody. We have a right to find a way to... People that are who can't get mortgages and rent, everything, that's going to help a lot of people out of poverty just by that evil, twisted little system there. Right? Evil. That's evil in the worst possible way. That people can't even buy house. Well, that's what they're pushing for destitution and they're pushing for extreme poverty. This is going to change that, so they'll lose. It doesn't matter what the evil elites and the dark elites continue to try and do to hurt and destroy the people. Remember, the humans are very resilient people too. We are a resilient race. We are a species, amazing, but we do have those. There's extraterrestrial species that are watching over us. They're not going to save us, but they're going to watch. They're going to do what they can to implement counteractions against evil. So, now you know, if you suddenly hear, or for the grapevine, or you see suddenly 850 credit score, that coding's been implemented. It's happened, and it's a tester again. And they're going to monitor the actions of us, the people, how we act on that, what we do with it, whether we start again and do things a bit differently. And many were, obviously, we know, but they're going to measure that sort of intelligence and analysis. I think they're going to analyze that a little bit more on the grand scale, so they can see. I think it's going to be I feel like it's going to be their global experimentation, because we've got to help. They're not going to save us. We've got to help ourselves. We've got to. They'll help us help ourselves, but that's it. They're not going to do it for us. Too lazy. Suspicious right there. Trusting interference. Okay. So. Right. So that was, obviously there was a lot more in depth going on in the live video, which I'm disappointed, but we've pretty much covered the be all and end all of what was going on. So the water, the under the ocean activity needs to be monitored right now. Let me see what else is going on. Okay. If you replant this planet, I do discuss the new army. There's going to be more volume. The more volumes are going to explain a lot more of what's coming. I'm pioneering that. I'm pioneering plant this planet. I'm bringing because they were the first humans. They were the first sort of humans here, I guess. But again, I'm not here to infringe any belief systems. You can believe what you want, but they obviously they're back. They're coming back but they are. Now I'm going to try and explain it the best way I can. So that we already know of here in the reality we live in through Hollywood and everything. The lower order, right? Lower order. See energy. Energy, dense energy. Reptilian energy, very, very left reptilian energy, typical, right? The low vibrational reptilians that were here, again, back then, they were a function on such it's a very dense, low vibrational energy frequency, but they're still more powerful than us, but only for a certain period of time. So there's shapeshift and stuff like that. They need to be hosted. It's an energy. It's the energy that needs to be hosted too. I mean, you hear about these sacrifices, rituals where they'll exchange their soul for the demon, whatever. That's the lower order. That's part of that dense energy. That's what gives people a sense of power. Those are the contracts, etc. You'll get this. You'll get this sense of power. You'll get all what you want, but you belong to us, right? But it's all managed by humans, but working alongside the bad extraterrestrials, aliens. So that's not new. The whole world knows of this. It's not. That's nothing. That's not right. We know, right? Just because we can't prove it, we still know. The tellers, the showers. So if they're showing us and they're telling us, we're not going to not believe it, are we? We're just going to believe what they're showing us and telling us. But they have to through natural order, and they have to for the laws of just the laws of karma alone, etc., and just the laws of the universe. You have to be honest about who and what you are and what you're doing, which is why they do it for the Hollywood. That's why, so that they're telling us the truth, but most people are not going to believe it because it's entertainment. Well, people with a brain, right? They know. So they know they're telling us the truth. It's part of their programming. So that's part of now this is these energies, there's different types of low dimensional energies. There's like sort of demonic, depending on your religious beliefs, but there's demons, there's all sorts of weird shit, dense energy, species. We're not the only species at all. So the war is between the lower dense energies, the lower level species, those aliens. Right? But they're all part of the lower order. Secret societies, all that kind of stuff, covenants, everything. They all love this energy. That's exactly the energy they utilize, they work within, that's it, right? It's a lower order. But they're restricted to a certain point. They have no free minds. They don't have free minds because they are basically brainwashed. They have to adhere to these rules. They have to adhere to everything that you're told what to do, what to eat, everything, right? You're not even free. You've got no freaking. You're not even having a human experience at that point. But then you've got the higher order, right? One without the other. High dimensional beings, low dimensional beings, high dimensional beings, right? These are light beings. These are your Arcturians. These are your healers. These are your Syrians, your Lemurians. These are Andromedans. These are higher, your Palantins. We're learning more about Palantins now. One, because we're bringing it to the surface, because there's a reprogramming structure going on right now to try and release the enslaved minds to just enough for people to just sort of wake up in their own time, but because it can't be forced upon them, but they need to be waking up because they're not evolving correctly, and the balance is out of whack a little bit. So that's why they were expected, but they were activated. The higher order, the Palantin warriors, they were activated on the 22nd of January 2025. So these are light beings, and when you go to the 14th dimension, they're just pure light beings. Now, when they come to the lower realms, they have a different sort of exterior. They manifest differently on each, especially when they start tapping into the fourth dimension, they start coming closer to us. They look like they're ferocious. You could, I think I was discussing it recently, but you could almost mistake them for, oh, you look scary like monsters. Well, again, because that's just Hollywood. That's the programming, that's the brainwashing. But they have to appear a certain way that to fight against the lower down. It's like that's how they present themselves. So, but they are light beings. They are extremely, incredibly high frequency, so high it's phenomenal. So basically what you've got is human beings hosting, right? You've got human hosts on both sides. Human hosts will host reptilians, right? Demons, everything. They'll host anything for money and shit. But the only way they need people to be functioning on a low vibrational frequency. They can't be hosted by high vibing people. The different energy signatures, they don't match. So they have to, that's why fear, etc., keeps that vibrational frequency and that state of low level consciousness in people so low, it's easy to attach to those people and easy to be hosted by them, right? Now, just complete opposite, basically the polarity of that is the high dimensional beings. They are hosted, they can only be hosted by high vibrational frequency people, high vibing people, right? So the higher order, the Palantin warriors, they are not the 144,000 that would be being taught to believe that are an army. These are the new army. These are, but they're not to me, the 144 is a frequency that you can connect to, but I don't really want to get into that right now. The new army, again, they are part of the highest order. They're like the elite. So the higher, you've got the Galactic Federation, right? That oversees interplanetary experiences, everything, extraterrestrials, and what's going on planetary systems, that sort of stuff, right? So they oversee, and they are part of the, obviously, then there's the higher order, the highest order. And then you've got the supreme, obviously, and that's ruled by the Supreme Divine. Now you've got the new army, the Planetary Warriors, right? Again, they're part of a hybridization program on Planet's planet eons ago. Don't have the time yet. I'll get that information as I continue to get the intelligence over time for the new volumes. So, basically, these warriors, they are like the elite forces for the wars, the interdimensional wars. You've got your warrior archangels and everything, but then you've got your Planetary Warriors. These are neutral. They're about as paradoxical as it comes. They're here to help us, but they're here to destroy. Not us, they're here to destroy what we host. Not all of us, thank God. So even though they're trying to help us, they don't care about who gets in their way. They're here to kill the reptilian. They're here to kill evil on all of the dimensions. So, in all realms, they're here to, that's what I'm talking about. Now, when you're talking about global government agencies and things like this, and intelligence agencies, you've got people situated around the world, not just one country. You've got people in those positions that are so unbelievably, they're Planetary Warriors. I mean, they're Planetary humans. They hold the frequency that the warriors can that can host the warriors. So you've got a Planetary human, the ancestors that they've probably been here so many life cycles after life cycles, but that's their true ancestral line, is the Planetary from Planet's planet, Planetary warriors, Planetary planet, the Planetary humans. So those Planetary humans hold the highest frequency. But again, a lot of them are in positions of power in certain areas, even in low positions too. It doesn't really matter, but they're placed in positions for a reason. And right now, obviously, but they host the Planetary warrior energy, the light beam energy, right? It's all energy. So now they become in the 3D, in the third dimension, this physical realm. Now they're a complete, you've got your super selves that are being manufactured, then you've got your Planetary humans, right? They're not even the same, right? So they have phenomenal powers that you're beyond human comprehension, right? Because we haven't learned about it, which is why we're bringing it to the table, literally, as we go on. So these warriors and these Planetary humans are now receiving their Planetary, they're going to be hosting. So again, they're going to be receiving intelligence, they're going to be making changes. These are the ones that are going to be taking over the powerful positions of power in the future. So all of these fucktards in powerful positions right now in politics and everything, agencies, the corrupted ones, the absolute corrupted, the deep state's going to be done. And I would say in the next 10 years, there'll be no deep state. Because these Planetary warriors that are going to be hosted by the humans, these are going to be lawyers and new lawyers and judges and everything. The evil corrupt ones are going to be gone. They're going to be arrested. They're going to be in prisons if they're not executed. They're not going to be here. Same with Hollywood, with those evil, twisted little, demented actors and actresses and all of that culture, celebrities basically in the music industry, the whole lot. They're gone, right? Because every single one of their little reptilian buddies or whatever the hell else are going to get extracted. Which is going to render them powerless. And they're going to be facing not only the universal justice is having the friend, the buddy that the hosting extracted. The criminal justice, the laws of the lands are going to change in the future. So from the corrupted laws of the lands to justice of the laws of the lands, coming from the divine intervention. That's what this is all about. It's all implemented in places in different areas. Different new systems are being cleaned out, cleansed, and corrected, basically. These are the warriors, these are the plants and humans that do. Okay. There we go. That's the download coming in, already coming. These are the ones that are going to be pioneering all of this. So you're going to have different leaders of different countries. You're going to have people that are going to be placed into leaders of countries, right? To get rid of the corrupted scum that are destroying the countries and the people. There's going to be changes in the future. 10 years, the next 10 to 20 years are going to look very different. But it's starting from 2026. It's starting now. The Plantain warriors were activated in 2025 to start getting placed into the positions where and making sure, understanding which humans they're going to be hosted by. So a lot of powerful positions are going to be replaced by these Plantain humans. They're still humans. They're just hosting a different, completely different, huge energy. Basically, that's all it is, a Plantain DNA energy. So, but they're more powerful. But the intentions are pure and good for the highest light and resonance of us all. And secondly, these are the ones that are truly going to make sure once the balance is back in place, the highest states of consciousness are going to rise in people. It's going to be a slow process. And then you've got to remember there's going to be the introduction to the extraterrestrials in the future, where the humans are going to be introduced to their literal ancestors from different star systems. They're going to be coming through a portal, and there's all of that going on in the future. But they're getting everybody ready now, so they're implementing the Plantain, because they are an alien species. They're one of the highest extraterrestrial species there are. So, but there are an accumulation of 128 different strands of it there, so that's why they're very powerful. The lower order is already lost. They've lost the war. They're just fighting the inevitable right now. But unfortunately, it's affecting the 3D because the behaviors of the humans that are hosting the lower level beings, the ones acting out, the ones on the run, the ones that are losing their power. So that's what we're dealing with, and that's what's manifesting into the physical realm. So we're watching this huge shift taking place right now. This is the literal definition of a divine intervention, and it's been expected. We've been expecting it for thousands of years. It was coming, but it's here. It's a great time to be alive right now. if you understand what's going on. Now, we can't wake everybody up fast enough because the minds are still fast asleep and they're so warped and they're so conditioned and controlled right now. It has to be, the procedure is so slow, but we can't change the educational systems or anything and the full actual systems that have corrupted the minds until we get rid of the corrupted people from all agencies, from all divisions, from everywhere, politics, a whole lot. Hollywood, that's 10 years. No one's going to care about these stupid little celebrities. No one's going to remember them. They're just like, all the legends are dying out. And a lot of those legends were on Epstein's fucking list, on Epstein's Island too. So it's probably a good thing they're out. It's really bad. It's disgusting when you think about it. So there's justice taking effect. There's universal justice being literally implemented into the human systems right now. That's why so many Yeshua's codes were implemented into the dark matrix months ago. You can watch that video. And remember, Yeshua is an energy, powerful energy. Christ is light energy. And when you do what I do and you sort of connect into those multi-realms, you've got to remember, it doesn't matter what angle I'm looking from, what I'm, observing from. When I hit those, just taking a look, It's just so much light. It's phenomenal. It's beautiful, but that's what's restoring the balance. I'm sure the greatest physicists right now are probably like, what's going on? Some interesting stuff going on, but we don't understand. We're learning something. We don't understand something's happening. Everything's mathematics, obviously, but not everything is. It's not just. There's a hell of a lot more, and now we're going to start learning why. So this should have been. We should have evolved centuries ago. This should have been part of our evolution centuries ago. But as we know, we're being so suppressed and controlled by a system. The architects of that system have controlled the minds for too long. Too long. The religious systems are crashing. They're going to be, again, I've discussed this in my other videos, but you can watch them. But they're on the religious systems that probably haven't going to exist in 10 years. You're going to be either on the good side or the light side or the bad side. That's it. But it's all spirituality. It's all divine. It's all source. It's all it's God energy. The re-education of this, to get away from that, those religious systems are created by humans, men back in the day, to control the mind control. Money. They're all of the systems are getting decimated. You might not see the results of it. You might not think anything's happening, but it's happening because they're getting more chaotic. It's creating chaos and madness within the systems and the people. So, right, and I'm feeling, what was I getting? I believe it's 57%. The 57%. The Plants and Warriors, the update, the new army update. The 57% of the plants and humans have now received the walk-in. So we're getting close to, so 57% of the plants and humans, not all humans are plantons either. We know that just from contaminated blood and all that kind of crap, filling them and everything. So when you 57% of the plant and warriors around the globe have now received their walk-ins. I'll get constant updates on how far we're getting on with the walk-ins, because it has to be done gradually too, because of what's going on. There's so many wars going on as well. Leaders are getting taken out. Leaders are getting removed. They're going to be getting removed from the positions and everything. But anyway, right, so that's the new army update percentage. So that's what your hosts are. You've got your higher order hosts, and then they're plants and humans. And then you've got your lower order hosts, which is just low level humans, easy to manipulate and shit. Conditioned, programmed, greedy, selfish. Don't care about anybody but themselves. Well, they're not even on the same energy frequency as the plants and as good humans, let alone the plants and humans. So the good humans, they're amazing people, and a lot of those are your light seers, your light workers, your light warriors, your healers, your shamans, your mystics, your good. Those are the good people, your good witches. I mean, witchcraft. Everything is there. Everything's around. It's God. It's always been here, but it's just abused. That's all. Used and abused like everything. weaponized. I don't want to get into that right now, but this is more into that's more my spirituality table chats. This is my, but this is part of it. When you're talking about convents and cults and secret societies and shit like that, they're part of the lower order. They're not part of the highest order at all. So, because they're connected and function in that dense energy, they understand the esoteric teachings. They understand how to manipulate energy and all that good stuff, but they still don't. They're not going to get access to the highest realms at all because their intentions are not in line or in alignment, and their frequency is still too low. And you're not going to be able to raise that frequency anywhere until you get away from that lower order, from that dense energy. You can't be functioning off dense energy. You can't be a low vibe, right? And you can't be doing what you're doing. And this evil, twisted, perverted version of power paradigm. You can't be functioning in that, right? And then expecting to call yourself high-dimensional being. I don't think so. Oh, I've got access to the higher realms. No, you haven't. Because your energy frequency and your signature doesn't match. It's not going to match. You can't get to where you want. You can't. It's not possible. How can you evolve to the highest frequency evolve when you're still functioning in low vibrational behaviors, the lowest of the low? No, that's your charlatans. Those are your liars. But those are your deceivers. Those are your manipulators. And when you're sort of in the higher archetype, ranks in societies and things like that, you can manipulate those below you to believe you're in the highest resonance. I don't think so. You can't even get access to the 13th dimension. You can't even get out the dodecahedron. Those can't get beyond the dodecahedron, which I call the 12 dimensions. So the minds aren't going anywhere higher than that because the signature energy frequency it's not correct. It's not high enough for it. And they can't go any higher because they're still functioning off the shadow aspect and the shadow energy. And it's not possible. But we can let them delusionally think they can. Now we've covered that. So you got your human hosts for low dimensional beings that host them, literally, some of them. And then your Palantin host that host the Palantin warriors, the high dimensional beings. And let me see if my dimensional door is ready to go through. Let's see if it's going. There's anything else coming in from that Operation Killer Whale? Oh, just did, okay. Yeah, that's okay. Timelines are changing slightly. Altered plans are being adjusted. Okay. Still a window. Timeline window. And then okay, now 3 to 6 months. Okay. Okay. I still want this report out. There's timelines are just shifting slightly, which means plans are being altered or adjusted. It could have delayed, they may be delaying 3 to 6 months. There should be some, technically, in 3 to 6 months, it should be foiled. The plot should be completely foiled, depending on the legwork. But monitor, okay, monitor, but still monitor within the next 6 months, because new plans might be, they might, okay. They may create secondary, third, fourth attempt. That's to do with the submarine. I'm going to put under the Operation Killer Whale. Oh, what's going on? I feel like there's something going on here. You know, I'm feeling it's getting too sort of. Okay, interesting. 57% of the Planting warriors have already placed on the globe. Psychological warfare is prevalent right now, which means it's like, yeah, it's breaking down mindsets and barriers within cults. Everything seems to be cults. There's so many cults and organizations, but same sort of people and same thing. But I'm hearing cults, systems. If they're they're creating the psychological warfare right now, breaking down these cults, the cult systems. Feels like self-destructing. I feel like it's because there's so much paranoia. If a lot of these are on the run, they're paranoid, obviously, constantly looking over the shoulder. It's weird. Show me what show me what they're seeing. Show me what they're freaking out about. They're dealing with third dimensional surveillance, 3D reality, which obviously would make them paranoid, obviously. And now you've got like new army surveillance, yeah, because they're watching their moves, they're watching their adjusted plans, they are watching where they're going to be running to. This is all becoming very interconnected. So they're what? Yeah, they're under surveillance, and they're under surveillance. They're probably under the surveillance also by the plants and humans, which are the warrior of the new army anyway, because they've been hosted. That explains the. Extreme paranoia. Their paranoia feels really extreme. See if there's more coming in. I want to know. They're throwing it's like they've got their scapegoats, right? For everything. They've got scapegoats for everything, but it's like they're throwing the scapegoats to the wolves as a distraction. So it gives them a little bit of time to get out of Dodge. But there's nowhere to run or hide. You can't hide anywhere. You can run, but you can't hide. You can hide in your underground bunkers and everything. These sort of people can hide underground, but they are still seen from the new army. Still seen from different warriors. And that's as well as the technological surveillance that they can still, Remember the plant and warriors, they're the energy, they can go anywhere. See everything. You can create technology that can, from space and satellite systems that can basically zone into homes through buildings, right? And that's created by humans. Can you imagine what the new army is like? They can get everywhere. They can be everywhere. If they once they hit their human target for extracting whatever they're hosting, all bets are off. They're going to be seeing shit in the mirrors and everything. They're going to be like freaking out, like what's just happened? oh my God, I feel like I'm being haunted. Yeah, but not by the plantain warriors. All they came to do was extract your little demon or your little reptilian. But you're so wide open now to the lower realms that you're probably going to get attacked by everything on those realms because you're not protected or secure at all. Just, it's weird talking about these realities so freely, so normally, because when you do what I do and you work on those sort of dimensions, you see a hell of a lot more. You know there's a lot more going on. But it's, even if technically, I mean, logically, if you understand, when it comes to just like paranormal activity and paranormal behavior and things like this, and people feeling that they've been haunted, well, we're always surrounded by energy of loved ones that's passed away and stuff like that, energy that's residual energy. So depending on how sensitive you are, and if you can see beyond the veil or anything like that, or whatever you're tampering with, or what you're experimenting with, especially when you're doing drugs and psychedelics and things like that, you're opening your mind to beyond the veil. So don't be don't be surprised if you start seeing weird stuff you're not used to seeing or feeling. But when you actively know what you're getting involved in, when you're sort of connected and part of the lower order, because the lower order oversees all cults and that sort of stuff anyway, and all of those sort of societies and shit like that. But what I'm saying is, what these people actively know exactly what they're getting involved in. They know what they're working with. They know what they're hosting and everything. They know energy. They understand energies, different species of energies. They know all of this. So they work with some of it, and they deities, everything. There's God, so much, but they actively work with them to the point where they will literally again host them, but they can't be surprised when they're being haunted by other stuff, because at the end of the day, energy, low dimensional energy, doesn't care about your feelings or anything like that. You want to start messing around with that sort of area of the witchcraft and things like that when you want to go that area. And you start tampering with energies like that, conjuring stuff up, because that's what these people do. They're constantly conjuring up energies. You cannot be surprised when you're getting attacked by spirits and energies. You can't be surprised at all. So I'll never understand that mindset, but it feels like there's extreme paranoia on all levels, because again, the source of power you've lost or you're going to lose, that's going to leave you open and vulnerable to everything else that wants to just try and get in or attack you. And unfortunately, when you're talking about these sort of people, they play this whole, you're loyal to us and you're loyal only to this and our systems and our way of life. But they're all thieves, they're all perverts, they're all liars, they're all, I mean, the stuff they get involved in, they're not very good human beings. So you're commanding and demanding loyalty and secrecy, but there's no loyalty amongst thieves and criminals and things like that. Delusional, I'm telling you, delusional. Again, the new army don't care about, whether you're feeling haunted or anything. They're there to do one job. Their job is to extract your weird reptilian buddy, or whatever you're hosting, whatever is on their war agenda, and then you're on your own. And again, I've said this before, depending on how long you've been hosting it, remember that's basically sucking off your life force. So depending on how long these humans are hosting these beings, these lower dimensional beings, they might not even, their physical vehicles might not even survive the extraction. So, and that's why a lot of celebrities and a lot of people suddenly just die, like randomly. Oh, that was a bit random. Okay, what was it? What was it this time? What fabricated autopsy was created this time for this one? Probably just had an extraction. the life cycle ended because I couldn't. Yeah. Weird. I don't, yeah, there's no loyalty amongst thieves and things like that. There's no loyalty in that anyway, anything to do with the lower order. There's the illusion of loyalty as long as there's something tangible in exchange, like money or sex or anything like that. As long as that's in play, then they're loyal to an extent, but that's about it. Don't even get me started on these weird cult marriages and these fake weird ritual marriages amongst these sort of masons and stuff. Like certain types of groups that you can have this one, you can marry this one. Oh God, weird people, and they're not even. And secondly, oh, we don't want to contaminate bloodlines. You're joking, right? You're not even planting. You're not even part of the. You're not even. Your bloodlines are not even the real ones. Contaminating bloodlines, but yeah, the most corrupted bloodlines. They're not even the true bloodlines. Pathetic, really, when you think about that. They want to kill off all the true bloodlines, right? They want to kill those ones off because they think they can erase history that way. No, that's not how it works. Weird initiation weddings of fucking weird people, weird celebrities, absolute weirdos. There's something wrong with them fundamentally. Weak, cowards. They're weird. I can't. Oh, I'm not going there. I don't want to. I feel like they're pulling me to the energy of those weirdos. And then they start sacrificing their spouses after a certain period of time so they can marry the next one in line for a political position of power. It's all part of the power perversion paradigm. These are fucking weirdos. Weirdest humans on the planet. I will not apologize for my language either. Because they're weird. That's why celebrity marriages are so fake. Fake. Just like this crap. These fake marriages. They're part of your initiation into these cults, into these societies. But you can only marry certain types of people. So you don't contaminate the bloodlines. They're not even the real bloodlines. They are fakes. It's pathetic. Oh God, I'm getting passionate now. That's okay. Why? Why is there's such an emphasis right now on these fake bloodlines? This isn't coming from, oh. There's ancestors out here. There's deities that they conjure up, that they connect to. For their bloodline. But they're the true, but they're part of the true bloodlines. And then they will offer up a blood sacrifice. And then they contaminate with. This is so weird. These people are weird. I'm an authentic weirdo, but nothing on this extreme. These are weird. These are different type of weirdos. But then the deities and who they're connecting with they're so insulted and disrespected by these humans because they're like, well, You want access to our knowledge, but you're not even part of our bloodline. You're not even part of you're not even part of the true bloodline. You're not even relevant. And then they're watching these weird people sacrificing their own family members and their own spouses to get a leg up on the next initiation stage for a bit more political power or a bit more money, more fame. Well, we all know these people are, don't we? They're showing us all exactly who they are. They don't care. They have to show us who they are. They have to show us who they really are and what they're really involved in. They have to. That's their contract. But they've got too many skeletons in the closet. You've literally got fake, lying Christian men who are worshipping the devil. And then you've got these fake Christian lying women. These are on public stages, by the way, who are nothing but fucking dirty, disgusting, evil, twisted Jezebels. But pretending they're pure and of God. No, they are not. They are devil worshippers. They are part of the lower order. They've been initiated into the lowest order. But they have to appease to the Christians of the world and the people to make them believe they are not. They are sacrifices. They sacrifice their loved ones and everything. They are so corruptible. I'm not too. The plants and the warriors, the new army's going after all of them because they've already initiated. They've been initiated into the lowest order, which means they've already gone through their ritualistic, weird shit. They're either hosting now, or they've got an attachment. Either way, whether they're attached or hosted, the new army's going to extract, and they're going to. Oh, okay. They're opening their closets. They are literally opening the closets right now. Not the people, the new army. They are literally letting the true skeletons come out. They're exposing them. The Jezebels. A lot of these women that claim they're women of God and it's Christian movement, a lot of them are Jezebels, literal Jezebels. They don't practice what they preach at all. They practice the opposite. The men, there's something else there. Fake suppressors. They're just, oh no. Their teachings, they are complete opposite to what a real man of God is. And a real woman of God is nothing like these Jezebel whores or these male Jezebel whores. Devil worshippers. And if you're part of a secret society like this, you're not good. You're not good at all. You've got no good intentions. You've got no pure intentions at all. Your heart's not even pure. These are wicked people. These are the worst types of people, but they're very well trained in the acting world. They know how to act. They know how to play. They're not even good actors either. They're just pathetic. Really shit. They're not going to win an Oscar. But they're not good at what they do. If you know how to read energy, you can see right through them anyway. You can see right through the weird speech, the shit that comes out of the mouths. You're like, your energy ain't even matching your mouth. You're a Jezebel, you're a whore, you're a gold, whatever the hell you're bought and paid for. Bought and paid for. All of them, men and women. Oh, okay. Extreme paranoia. They're all, yeah, because the skeletons are coming out of the closets. Let them be. The new agendas that they're pushing, they're not going to win. They're not going to be able to. It's not going to work. People are going to see the truth before they get what they want. Oh, dirty, evil creatures. If we're going to play their whole biblical religious card, these creatures are fallen angels. And there's some weird reason they think they can just revamp themselves. They think they can just play the love and light card, but they've got black hearts. They haven't even, they're empty vessels. Some of them haven't even got souls. Some of them are just so wicked, and they are. A lot of them are fallen angels. They love that Jezebel energy. They absolutely love that Jezebel energy. Both sexes. They love it. Feeds the validation from each other. That's how they get validation. Sex pleasing, validation. Yeah, these people are twisted. They've got these fake, weird, ritualized marriages within their secret sectors and societies, and it doesn't even feel like some of the marriages are real either. It's like, I don't know what's going on there. But then they get set up. They have a certain period of time to get what they want, and then they need to sacrifice their spouse, who usually tend to be true men or women of God, true, they end up with these Jezebels. These true, it's sad because you get these amazing humans, men of God and women of God, real truthful. You end up with these fucking Jezebel, disgusting energies, these narcissists, these sociopaths, these psychopaths, these vile, disgusting little creatures. But then they sacrifice them. Because they think if they can sacrifice a real man of God or a real woman of God, that they're going to get a better deal from the devil. Oof. This so-called devil, this Lucifer, don't give two flying flip-flops about his little creatures in human form at all. You can't stand any of them. That energy hates this energy. It's fallen angels. With Lucifer, again, let's work with this. He can't stand those that followed him. And he can't stand humans. Lucifer, the devil, he absolutely despises humans. Thinks we're disgusting. easy, corruptible, that's it. He hates it. He doesn't like any of it. He doesn't like humans. It's like he can't believe he still has to use humans to do his. But he likes the chosen ones. He likes the women and God. He likes the pure ones. He likes the real men of God and real women. Those are the ones he wants, but he can't have them. He knows that. Those are the ones he wants to join his so-called fake kingdom, but he can't have them. If we're going to talk about this energy as a real tangible energy in some sort of formation, right? It's like he's looking at him, he's disgusted. He's like, oh, I hate this. I hate these humans. Hates humans. Because they're weak, they're cowards. That's how he sees us. They're pathetic, weak cowards and easy manipulated. They're just worthless, most of them. And he proves it by contaminating them. He hates them. The ones he wants are the ones he can't have. He loves the light warriors. He loves the chosen ones. He loves the selected ones. He loves all of those beautiful people. He loves their energies. He wants to rule those energies, but it's never going to happen because he's a coward like the humans. He's a liar like the humans, like his little followers and shit. Those that follow the true God consciousness and God energy and true Christed light and really follow Yeshua, they're not going anywhere near this low dense energy, going anywhere near his energy at all. There's nothing, you see, there's nothing you can give them to tempt them with. Everybody, the ones he hates, easily tempted, he hates them all. That's it. It's very strong. It's like his energy. I can't even believe I'm literally connected to that devil energy right now. And just that Lucifer is, I mean, just being at the end of the day. He absolutely despises this Jezebel energy. He hates it. It's like, God, it's really weird. It's like, even these little demons, this little demon energy, the real weird dense energy, they absolutely disgustingly hate the human physical vehicles. They hate the humans. They need the humans, obviously, but they hate them. Oh, God. Yeah, well, anything else? Really? God, wanted me there? Maybe it just needs to be highlighted why these creatures are buying into. Why would you worship and serve an energy that can't even stand you, hates the essence of that human, everything? Hates it all. He hates our species. He's evil, right? This energy is evil, but he sees his humans as a necessary evil that he has to deal with. Can you believe that? so blind, so fearful to it, to him, to it, the energy, so abiding and so lost, damaged, twisted, will believe anything. He hates witches and warlocks and that. Okay, we're burning so many out. He actually hates them more. The ones that tap into the dark sides and the dark energies, he absolutely hates them more than anything. Okay. He hates yes men and yes women. That's a strange thing. It's such an energy. It's really weird. What else? Do you know what this energy loves? He absolutely loves it when the humans hate themselves. He absolutely, that is what literally makes the devil smile. When they hate themselves. He loves to watch humans hate themselves so much. He loves it when they won't work on themselves. He loves it when they're addicted to everything. He loves it when they just look in the mirror and hate themselves. He don't even want them. He don't like any of them. But he just loves that. He loves to see humans hate themselves. And then he loves to see humans hate each other because they hate themselves. Well, that's just really Lucifer. That's the best you fucking got. That's what wakes you. That's what gets you up in the morning, is it? it's weird. It's almost feeling like he looks at the humans and he's like, you get it, they're just more perverted, more twisted than in any other than ever before. I think it's just a repeat of a cycle. That's his little cycles, that isn't it? Oof. I knew it was dense energy. It's so funny because I'm connected to this dimension. It's a very low dimension. I don't mind. I'm just anchored in anyway. But it's like I'm stood in, in this energy. I'm obviously surrounded by my light shield, right? And all I can see beyond it is just like snippets and visuals of what that devil energy is showing me. Like this is the best I've got. I hate it all. It's weird. Just the sickening. He thinks we're sickening. He thinks we're sick in the head. That's how his energy, this devil energy, this Lucifer's energy, I'm telling you, is just absolutely hates his humans, his followers. He absolutely despises every single one of them. He didn't even like his demons. He absolutely hates himself. how can he like anything beyond his energy? He hates his own. I'm again speaking as a being. It's definitely male. There's no feminine there at all. He thinks humans are dirty, the dirtiest, dirtier than animals. That's saying something. That's bad. He thinks the women are dirty, like disgusting dirty. That's how he feels about female women, his followers. God, imagine having all that so-called power, and that's how you feel about it. That's how you feel about the energy you're giving out to your little creatures, your little followers. Sorry, God. No, I want to get away from that little realm, that dimension. I'm afraid of that energy. That's enough. Oh. So I guess lesson of the day, if you want to suddenly become a devil worshipper and worship that thing, that energy, remember you're worshipping something that despises and hates you. But good luck. You're not going to change its mind. Right, well, that was interesting. I didn't realise I was going right from here, right there. Ooh la la. Is there anything else? Okay, higher order. I need. Please don't take me back to that energy, because that's disgusting. But what lies? I'll agree with Lucifer on one thing. That energy is not wrong. We are a disgusting, perverted, horrible society right now of the worst types of people, I'm afraid, that are falling for that devil energy and can't disagree with it. No wonder people follow God, because they actually loved. There's a huge opposite effect right there, isn't it? Huge difference there. Do you know what that felt like? Being married to somebody that absolutely hates you, hates everything about you, looks at you every day and just like, I hate you. That's how that energy felt. Like, I just want you gone. You're disgusting. That's just how to express how that feels just as an individual human. That's exactly how that was really intense. But then think of millions and millions that love it, love that, love him, love Lucifer, love that devil energy, and he don't like any of them. He hates it all. That's sad and pathetic. People have got to start evolving a little bit, because no wonder you hate yourself and hate everybody else around you. No wonder you hate your marriages. No wonder you hate your people, isn't it? Because you're full of hate. You're full of that energy. Oh, good Lord. I'm actually feeling very, tell you what, atheists, yeah. You're not missing anything out there, because if you don't believe in God, you certainly don't believe in that either. You can't believe in one without the other, so let's not play that double standard card or hypocrisy. But if you're an atheist, and you're probably safe from that energy, you probably don't hate yourselves either. So it's weird. So you're not going to entertain that. Very strange. But that's the dense energy, though. That's the energy. that was not where I was in. I was feeling like I was going today with this, when I was tapping in. I felt like I was getting more on the Operation Killer Whale. It feels like those that are plotting up to no good, it seems that they're altering the time, just watching the timeline shifting, it's altered a little bit, because I feel like they're altering or adjusting plans or what they've been plotting. So that's either going to change plot time, or there's going to be more added to the plan. Oh, God. I think what I'll do is I'll just keep an eye on the next week before I do another video. I'm working, I've got one right now. I need to start recording as well for the red files. What was it? It's coming through. Yeah, actually, while I'm here. So basically, Operation Killer Whale, the first SITREP I got from the new army was on the 5th of the 1st, obviously, at 1:57 p.m. And that's when Operation Killer Whale came into effect. The new army download was Operation Killer Whale is underway. That's probably what that freaking download was that was coming through, was the whole devil energy. I felt like something heavy was coming in. Now that explains that. Okay. Now, so again, this is how I started the live session, the huge emphasis on the subway, not railway subway, it's submarine radar over the next 3 weeks. That's right, 2 to 3 weeks. There is a possible extraction plot to retrieve a political prisoner and other political figures. Satellite blackout may happen during this period. Revert to IRDR 79 video named The Warning Update, which is what I covered. The belly of the beast is now in motion. Monitor underwater targeted threats. Revert to IRDR 49, Spider Unit, SS. I don't know. Put those links in. This could have something to do with possible Trump kidnapping. That's what that was about back then. I thought I'd altered that. That's what I mean. I thought that timeline had been altered, but I'm starting to get a horrible feeling that timeline's kicking in. We'll come into it. 3 to 6 months. That man needs protection, like extra protection right now. More than ever before. And especially now there's a political prisoner. Now he needs to be really heavily protected and monitored by, hopefully, those he can really trust. Good Lord. All right. Oh, good God. I'm just reading. After all of that, I've just been discussing. There's literally a download. You are a servant of the devil energy. Really? So clearly on something there, weren't we? So those who carry the God energy, walk within the God energy, we are not the same as those that walk in the devil energy. We are not even remotely close to being the same. Thank God. I tell you what, there's really a lot going on over the last few years, because when I go right back to IRDR1, you've got global technology shutdown, 02, global energy shift brain fog, IRDR3, special forces mission, astral spies. Well, that's nothing new, is it? 04, IRDR04, satanic code, winter wonderland. Then you got the gun range shooting. That's a company. Obviously, IID-08 O'Connor's 3375. That's the alien species. Expect more. That's what their message was. And then IID-09 hunted by the squad in data. 3 days of, and then IIDR-12, 3 days of darkness, the world shakes. IIDR-13, war Ukraine effort. See how we're coming into sequential order? That's how everything was playing out in the 3D. It's all coming into effect. IIDR-14, satanic killing and burial grounds. Yeah, they're getting, these people are on the run, I'm telling you. Then there was IIDR-15, the plane crash in the major city. I'm still keeping an eye on that. That was horrific, actually. But code dates, intel. Prediction. SC-10, 5G mine weapon control chaos. I'm just highlighting the ones that are pretty much relevant right now to all the intuitive intelligence videos. The green files, you can watch them all. They're all there. Underground clubs, the underground club sex trafficking. People, disgusting. Hollywood star energy releasement. That's, oh god, that's when I had to go to California and do grid work. Got as close to how far did I get? Los Angeles. Just short of Orange County. Orange County? Oh, yeah, it was a Hollywood star energy release because he was about to marry a demon witch. Oh, these people. And then from IRDR 21, 22, 23, 24, all the way up, you've got 6D, six-dimensional occult judgment, higher order. 7D, organization waiting on info. That's, we know what that is. 8D, IRDR 24. That's when I knew I was going to lose a loved one in my family, and that was my father a few days later. Losing my dad update, clarity case, devils in the detail, soul selling sex parties. These are all in order as well. Elite energy connection, Havana syndrome, 12D, weapon or mission, Gabriel. Trump spies in part 1, spies in the skies. And this is child trafficking in Flagstaff. Firstborn sacrifices, switched at birth. Trump part 2, spies in the skies update. Trump 3, part 3, Titans versus, the Titan derangement. Oh. Jesus Christ versus the Antichrist. Weird Science, MK Ultra. Urgent 911 warning. That was IODF 37. Trump part 4, second assassination attempt. IODF 39, sex transference, Hollywood. IODF 40, fear of the truth, Morse code in that one. Paranoid psychopaths and gang stalkers. These are all your elites. These are all based on the elites and the cults and secret society, all of this crap, but they're all interconnected anyway. Human trafficking, harvesting, Crosby Airways frequency. That's when I was discussing the Crosby Airways frequency. It's in Planter's Planet right now in the book. Dating handlers and parental pimps. Imagine that. Parents pimping out the kids online. That's prevalent right now, isn't it? Trump Part 5, agent protection. That's what I'm talking about, the kidnapping. 46, Spidey unit, SITREP. Planter strand. Now, IID 47 was all to do with planter strands. When I started talking about the DNA strand, really starting to bring Planter's Planet to the surface a little bit. IID 49, dangerous derangement, life insurance fraud. You've got a problem in this country with people taking up fake life insurance policies on people that they're not even remotely connected to or related to, and then basically offing them, or and then claiming and basically getting wealthy off them. You got a big problem in this country with insurance, especially life insurance. Corruption behind that is disgusting. But that's big in sort of like witchcraft circles and secret societies. That's why they do witchcraft on people. Energy attacks, so they'll die, but they'll already have they'll take out life insurance on people first. People should be in prison for life. Mind blowing. And then IIDA 50, Native American missing women bloodline. IIDA 51, secret societies within. Trump part 6, inauguration assassination plot. And then 53, Trump inauguration plot update. California chaos, cycle event chaos. That was the fires. Trump worldwide elite system at war. Yeah, the elites are at war with each of them. Update to to sky chaos, planes, trains, and cars. Oh god. Elite intel. Yeah, this. Oh god, there's so much more. There's so much, and it's all playing out. It's all coming to pass. Everything I was discussing, right, for years now, especially 2024 and 2025, that is all coming to pass. It's all playing out. From Russia with love, black cubes, chaos and madness, triangle table, mothership off. That's the extraterrestrial coming. The dark matrix is being infiltrated by Yeshua's curds. That's IIDA 68. Social media shut down for reset. IIDA 75. That's coming at some point. These are all on IIDA 76. Charlie Kirk's funeral. Oh, interesting. Now we're talking about men of God marrying Jezebel women, right? New initiates, IIDA 77, that's exactly what I'm talking about. New initiates, the chessboard players. You might want to watch those and catch up. IIDA 78, Hunters on the Run, Astral War on 6D. That's with government agents that were trained to do astral assassins, basically. And then 79, IIDA 79, the warning, the update, and the satellite blackout. And then IIDA 80, Astral Assassins, that's my last one. And as you can imagine, I'm doing the red files now, real-time remote viewing cases. Same principle, but these are more intricate, more detailed, more adult. My videos are not for children or anybody under the age of 18 at all. So we're all adults here. So there will be adult language, I'm afraid. If you don't like it, I'm not for you. I'm a warrior at the end of the day, and I have a warrior's mouth when I get really passionate. So, and that's it. That's the one I wanted to write. Operation Killer Whale. RTRV 1.1 now, because the live died on me. RTRV 2. The Dark Elites. That's what's coming through right now. Dark Elites are sabotaging satellite grid. You've got to be kidding me. I fucking knew it. That's exactly what I'm talking about. It's the Dark Elites sabotaging the satellite grid. I'm telling you, there's more coming. I'm just starting to get it as well, but there's more coming in. That's going to be the next session. So if you want to come back to my virtual office as a member and watch, I'm going to be I'm going to go full blown into that crap, into the Dark Elites, and I want to see more information on exactly how they're sabotaging it, what they're going to do. But by the looks of it, or by the feel of it, they're already starting it by, if this operation Killer Whale is what's going on with this subway operations. So I think what I'll do is in the report I put in I'm going to have to send it to I don't know whether to send it to the FBI or not. See if they can just forward it to someone in intelligence. I don't know. It's hard to know who to trust into government right now. But we need to make sure the president's protected at all times, all costs, regardless. So I will also probably just add to the summary that I'm going to be working on the next more intelligence on the dark elites infiltrating the satellite grid, satellite system. I'm telling you, they're up to some, they're up to a no good. It's going to cause a blackout. I can feel it, which will affect technology and everything. If that's not already happening, but they might. I don't know if they can put counteraction measures in place or anything like that too. We'll see. But I'll do my part. I'll do what I need to do, and then get the report sent off to them. Obviously, my report books, right? Palantis Planet. They are reports, but their volumes are going to come in volumes. Can't have everything all at once because my mind is great, it's open, it's vast, but the level of intelligence I get comes in sporadically, so that's why the volumes are going to come in. Quantum intelligence is basically binary numbers. It's the language of numbers. I can't read binary code, that's not my area of expertise, but the whole of last year, that's just again, even as the numbers are coming through, as I'm visually seeing them, and even just every, not every day, but I'll get them numbers coming in, ones and zeros. So I basically I'm creating volume books of those. But right now, the first volume 1 is the full year's worth of binary numbers, binary codes. So as members, you will receive these books to be shipped to you. But also, just in case people want to sort of buy my books off Amazon and sort of try and resell them as if it's them, whatever they're doing, there's imposters out there. I will be, but before I distribute my books to all of my patrons, I will be giving each person an individual different code word. So when I sign the books and ship them to you, you will receive, you'll know it's me and they're coming directly from me. And that's my autograph, is because you'll receive the code word in the book, written in the book. So that's what I'll be doing in all my books. I'm not on social media. You're not going to find me anywhere apart from my one YouTube channel at drkarenmakowski.com. My one YouTube channel at Butterfly Karen. My website, one website I use, my professional, drkarenmakowski.com, and my Patreon page, which is where you are, why you're here. That is it. If you see me anywhere else online, you might want to report those pages or sites because they are frauds, they're scamming people, and it's not me. So, and whatever their intentions are for being the imposters and sharing my videos and doing what they're doing, or if they're trying to scam people out of money, that is nothing to do with me, and I will not take responsibility for the actions of others. I'm trying to protect my copyright and my intellectual property as best I can, which is another reason why I'm doing my high tier intelligence, and it's a high tier membership. So I will be doing one of these every single week. So you can, now I am not feeling there's any Morse code coming through right now, but you want to watch my movements and my rapid eye movements and my tapping or anything like that. I'm a messenger, so there's usually messages that okay, here we go. As soon as I mention the dark elites, they're at it. So just watch out for those sort of things in the future when you're trying to gather the intel from me. But the sort of intel I'm getting right now, I don't really want to put out to the public because I think it would just cause. I don't want to cause harm, and I don't want to cause fear at all. That's the last thing I want to do. Which is why I'm only aiming for certain types of people, from certain agencies and stuff. So, but yes. So this is the first part of the red files. They are going to be a lot longer, obviously, more intricate, intense. And I don't, it's, again, just use your discernment too. A lot of stuff I can be getting through can be symbolic, all sorts of stuff. But just keep your intentions pure, because if you're coming into me as a patron and you're coming in with the wrong intentions, the higher order is going to see that. They're going to know. So they're going to limit what I can bring to the table. So, and if you start, again, I can't take responsibility for what people want to do with my information, But that's on the individuals, people. I'm not going to take responsibility for the actions of people at all, ever. I never will. So it's just something to take into, keep in mind. So I'm going to close this out at 3:34 p.m. I will get this up to my Patreon page, premiering within the next 12 hours. So other than that, I hope to see you all here very soon. And again, when you do start coming here, and if there's any questions, just you can put your questions in the comments and I'll reach out and all that beautiful stuff. I don't think the live's going to work the way I was hoping it would, because it's just taking too long. It's just crazy. Can't reach you and I'm waiting. No, I don't. And that, again, we don't need to go live. You get my premieres and selected. Nobody else can get access to them apart from you patrons anyway. So you're the only ones that are going to get access to these, and I want them up for you guys and gals as soon as possible within the week I work on them. So other than that, I will see you all again very soon.